You're listening to Straight to the Point, Uncut. Welcome to the first edition of Straight to the Point, Uncut with myself, Ciaran Gibbons. You can follow us on Twitter on @STTP Uncut. We also have a Facebook page, so please like us, share us, subscribe. The first edition, and I'm joined by Dai Owen from Swansea. One of the, as you probably listened on the introduction episode I put out there, Dai is one of the inspirations, if that's the right word. I'm going to kiss his butt, but one of the inspirations to do a podcast. And I got Dai on the podcast because I want to talk to him about his experience on the X Factor. So Dai, let's get straight to the point. You decided that you were good enough for the X Factor.
Whether I was, that's the thing. I never thought that I can win this. We talk in a long time. I was like 17, 18-ish, and I'm 35-ish years. So it was a while ago. I never thought I could win it. Let's get that straight first. I'm not one of those delusional people. And to be honest, I don't know why I even went on it. Because if you're not going to win something, what's the point of even entering? But I think I just wanted a bit of validation that I could hold a note, basically, which I can sing a little bit, and I enjoy a bit of karaoke and won a couple of competitions in pubs and stuff like that, but nothing major. But yeah, that's probably why I went on it, is just a bit of validation, and I suppose for the experience as well, because I did come up with a couple of stories and realised how it was produced and sort of how set up it was. Because what you see on TV is nothing like the experience you get when you're there. Because everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to see Simon Cowell, brilliant. But you don't. Not for a long time.
So how does how did you go about applying for the X Factor?
I think it was just an online form. Fill that in, and then they sent me the details, and it was at the Millennium Stadium, the first audition. So you queue in over the bridge next to the Millennium Stadium for hours, and I was supposed to go up with a friend. He can sing, and he had entered, and he found out I had, because I kept it on the low. I didn't tell anyone, because for obvious reasons. I didn't tell anyone. And I was going up on my own, totally on my own. But a day off work, caught a train, and the friend I was going to come, he didn't turn up. So I literally was on my own all day. So I was about 18. And even on the way up, I think, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? This is stupid. But I done it anyway. And I fill the form in. They get back to you and tell you a day, a date, a time, rough time, and away you go. I ended up standing in a queue on that bridge for a good 3 hours. It was the longest day of my life, pretty much. I was texting my sister and stuff going, I'm going home. I'm sick of waiting. I'm sick of sitting here. I was there for a good 7-8 hours, I'd say, on the first day. It's a long process, put it that way.
So when you put the application in and when you went down to the Millennium Stadium, as it was called then, what was your expectations? Did you actually expect to meet Simon Cowell? Did you expect to be in front of the three judges like it is on the TV show? Or were you aware that things perhaps aren't as they seem on television?
When I applied, I thought, that's what happens. You go, you sing in front of Simon. I can't remember who the other judges were at that time, because you're talking, 2005 or 6, something like that. Rough date.
Sharon Osbourne, was it?
Possibly, yeah. And Louis Walsh has always been on it, hasn't he? So But then I'm thinking back, I'm pretty sure on the emails it says you meet producers first. That's, you sing in front of a producer for the first, it's like 3 or 4 rounds. You don't see any celebrities or nothing like that. The only guy that was there was Dermot O'Leary. Now, I didn't meet him, but what I found out was the way they produced the program. So when I first got there, you queuing on this bridge, and they get you X Factor sticker across your chest and your individual number. And then we're there for a couple of hours, and Dermot O'Leary shows up, and he's right at the front of everybody queuing, and the cameras are coming in. But they go, right, everybody, we need you to pretend to scream, silently scream, and silently cheer. So thousands of people standing there going, no sound, nothing. And while he's doing his little introduction, and they put the sound in over the top. So everyone's pretending to shout and scream and be happy while he's introducing, we're in Cardiff, and I was like, oh, this is a bit ropey. This isn't what you see on TV. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I thought you'd see the judges, but I'm pretty sure when they accept you to go for an audition, they tell you that you're going to be singing in front of a producer, basically, of the show.
When you were in the crowd, of course, that's the famous scenes from the television program. You have various characters, shall we call them, in the crowd who all think they're going to be superstars. Was that your experience? Were the people who were in the crowd with you, were they expecting to be the next, I don't know, Leona Lewis?
Yeah, it's exactly how you'd imagine. It's full of idiots. Honestly, it's you. So I was queuing, and you queue for a couple of hours. They put you in the stadium then, so we're sitting in the stand. And in the stand, you're in pretty much your number order, as close as they can get. So as you keep moving down the rows, closer and closer to the edge of the pitch, on the edge of the pitch, around the pitch, there was little black booths. So you go down, and the people singing go split off and go into the black booth. And while I was sitting in there, that's when I was thinking, I'm going home. This isn't for me, because you'd have 3 people behind me thinking they're Whitney Houston singing on top of their voice. You'd have a guy with a multicolored, luminous waistcoat acting a div because he wants to get on TV. It is literally as you could imagine that they are in there singing, thinking they are genuinely going to win the X Factor. And I'm sitting thinking, this isn't me. What am I doing? What am I doing? And yeah, when it got further on, which we'll get into, the producers realised that I probably won their cup of tea. So, yeah.
So you're queuing up in the Millennium Stadium. I presume you get taken inside through one of the main entrances, one of the main gates, and you get taken to a booth. Yeah. Well, do you get mic'd up? Do they?
No, it's nothing. They tell you? It's nothing as extravagant as that. So you're sitting in the stand, you get taken up the back of the stand like you would with a rugby match or whatever, and then you go down the steps and they go, yeah, you sit here. And you move down the rows as more and more people get seen. So as we get in closer to the booth, I got talking to this fella. And I was saying, I don't know what I'm doing, basically. And he was like, yeah, me. And they tell you to turn up and have 2 songs prepared. So, but I didn't. I only had 1. Now, I know hundreds of songs off the top of my head, but I only had 1 with me. I thought, don't worry about that. I'm not going to bother. So as we're getting closer, you can see people going into the booth and they're singing and they're coming out. And a lot of them genuinely were like crying and stuff because they've had a no. And they're not allowed just to walk off. It's pretty brutal the way they do it, but I quite liked it. As they go to walk off all upset, a producer or someone from the crew puts the arm out in front, stop, gets a marker out, scribbles the number off their chest, and then lets them go. So it's just a little bit of a stab in the guts to say, yeah, you definitely haven't got through. So I'm sitting there, and that's what I'm expecting pretty much, is go in, sing, no, and off I go home. I couldn't wait to go home at this point. I was just like, let's get it over and done with. I've waited this long. I can't leave now. So when I goes in the booth, I'm talking to this fella, and 2 women were in front of us, and they went into their booths, and they come out crying, scribbled the numbers off. I was like, oh, that's brutal. So they were like, yeah, go in. So he went left, I went right. And as I guess in this little booth, it's tiny. All it is, you walk in a booth, and there's a guy sitting bang opposite you. I'm talking 2 foot away from your face.
So when you say a booth, do you mean the size of like a porta cabin, or half the size of a porta cabin?
Like you go to have your passport photos taken in the supermarket.
Right, that's small.
Like that, right? So I go in. It's a 3-sided booth, pretty much. So you walk in, there's a guy just sitting on a chair right in front of you, where the screen will be, say, in a photo booth. And he goes, right, checks your name. Yeah, sing. What are you going to sing for me? So I was like, right. And he asks you, have you got any experience, basically? I lied and said I'd never sung in public before, which I had. I go to town all the time and get on any karaoke I'd let me, pretty much. But I said, oh, I've never done this before. So he said, what are you going to sing? And I was singing Mac the Knife. So like with a swing. So I sang Mac the Knife. Totally, at this point, I had just, let's get it done and I want to go home. So I sang Mac the Knife. And from under his leg, he pulled out a little gold ticket and said, congratulations, you're through. And on this sheet, it adds all the details of what happens next. So I was quite shocked, but obviously that was the validation. I got older note. But then in the back of my mind, I was thinking, they also let some idiots through as well. Because on the way, I forgot to mention, on the way, like you've seen people going in and going out, I've heard these people singing in the crowd already, and like, he's rubbish, she's crap. But they're getting tickets. And I'm like, purely for TV purposes, you know what I mean?
So at this point, what was the reality setting in that things are not quite as they are on television, and perhaps it's not just a pure talent contest as such? It's they call it an entertainment rather than talent.
Yeah, the next day, like, I was still like the Dermot O'Leary situation. I was like, oh, that's a bit staged. But and I could see some people going through, and I was thinking, the next day, because on this ticket it said I had to go back the next day, but I had to wear the same clothes. I had hair at the time, same hairstyle, for continuity of TV purposes. So I was like, right, okay. So I went home, booked another day off, went back the next day, and this time they'd taken us in like the suites or whatever of the Millennium Stadium. So we'd been upgraded from the stands into the boxes, you could say, the dining areas or the lounges. And there's a lot of people there, and there's cameras going around and everything now. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm quite close here. I'm getting quite close. So again, I'm on my own, totally on my own. So I'm sitting there, and there's some real idiots in this room. Real idiots.
When you say idiots, just can you elaborate on that?
Totally delusional people. Dressed like clowns, like multicolored suits on, and on one of them, I always remember him. He had a multicolored waistcoat on, long scruffy blonde hair, and I ended up seeing him on TV. He couldn't sing a note, but he made it onto TV. So I was watching that season then a couple of months later when it come on, and this geezer was sitting like, I don't know, 10 foot away from me was on the TV. And he got further than I did, which...
But at this point, was this something inside you thinking, wow, I could actually, I could do something here. I could perhaps get on TV. I could change my life.
No, not honestly, no. Most people would probably argue with me on that, say, no, why did you go then? But I'm not the most confident person in the world, especially when it comes to singing. If I've had a pint, then yeah, great. I can hold a note. I'm not the best singer in the world, not by any stretch. I can sing a couple of songs. But like some people, I've had offers to sing at weddings and stuff, and I'm like, I ain't ruining nobody's wedding. That's my mindset. I'll have a song, I'll have a sing, but I don't know, I don't know, can't even think of a singer now, but I'm no Elvis Presley, put it that way. But in this room, there's producers walking around everywhere, and they're interviewing people, and I know what's going on now. They're interviewing people, see who the idiots are. Right, we'll push him on TV, sharpish. You make good TV. They're not interested in the real good singers. Do you know what I mean? So this guy come to me, and afterwards, the same people must make Britain's Got Talent, because I was watching Britain's Got Talent, the like a sideshow with Stephen Mulhern or whatever his name is, and this producer guy was acting as a scientist on a board or something in a little sketch they were doing, and it was the same guy that was talking to me. So he come over, and they were like, "Oh, can we have a quick chat?" I was like, "Yeah, if you want, no problem." So he's like, he's asking me all these questions, and what would it mean to you if you had a Christmas #1? Because the finals always at Christmas time, isn't it? And I thought, you're not going to get me at going, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be in the next X Factor." I'm not giving no stupid answers, right? And I know that's what they want, which I should have, if I wanted to get further, I suppose. Not just based on my voice, but that in my head it's a singing competition. If I'm good enough, I'll get there. So I was giving answers like, he asked me, what would it mean to have a Christmas #1? And I come back with something like, it's the albums you want, because that's where the money is. You can see his face look at me as if saying, really? And he went, okay. And then he asked me another one, something like, what would you say if Simon said you were rubbish? And I come back with, well, he knows what he's talking about. So I'd go, thank you very much. And I'd catch a train home. And at that point, he went, thanks very much, see you later. And he shot off. He thought, this guy's not TV material, sort of thing. So at that point, they're having cameras going round, and all the producers going, right, guys, I want you to sit down really quietly, no sound. Cameras are going to go in between all of you. And I want you to think about what's going to happen when you sing, and act all nervous and contemplate what's going to happen. So that was the shots that you see where Dermot O'Leary's talking over the shot, where everyone's sitting there like looking worried before they go in for the audition. So when I watch anything like that now, I'm like, oh, this is so full of rubbish. Yeah.
So do you think that as soon as you turn up for the audition, subconsciously perhaps, that the producers and the organisers, they are almost grooming you to tell you what they're expecting? They're expecting you to act a certain way.
Yeah, you can spot it a mile off. If you're off about, a lot of them were delusional. They genuinely thought they were, and that's what X Factor 1 did pretty much. Obviously, they want the real good singers, and if you are that good and you sing in front of the producers, you go through. But they want the idiots as well, and that was so plain to see. It was unbelievable. Like that audition, then I was waiting again another full day.
Sorry, before we go on to the second audition,
yeah,
did you tell anyone after the first day that you were successful in getting past stage 1?
I'm talking like, oh, I got through. That was that. No, I was chuffed. Don't get me wrong. I was like, oh wow, I got through, because I genuinely didn't expect to get through. So I went home, and my father's a big musician. He can play anything. He can play the drums, the guitar, bass guitar, saxophone, you name it. He got a music room in the house. He's like a one-man band pretty much. So I went home and I just showed him this golden ticket, and he was like, don't get me wrong, we're all really close, but we're not a family that goes, oh, I love you, I love you. I can't remember the last time I told my parents I loved them, or they told me they love me. We're not that type of family. If I said, I love you, Dad, he'd go, what's the matter? Who's dying? That sort of thing. So, but he was genuinely like, yeah, chuffed. Don't know what I mean? It was like, that was one of the times I thought, oh, he's quite proud of me by that. And he kept the sticker that I had on my chest and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm saying it like, well, it was nothing. No, I was happy. I was really, really chuffed. Obviously, I had to tell, I was working away at the time, like living in London and stuff. So I had to tell my mate, who was my boss, look, I need another day off here, because I've got through on the X Factor. So I was having, one or two people knew, the boys I work with, and they were texting me throughout the day and stuff. But yeah, I didn't, for obvious reasons, because like thinking of back now, I feel like an idiot for even going on there.
But what was their reactions? Were they, did they sort of buy into the you know, the unrealistic expectations of going in front of the judges? Did they think all of a sudden that they had a potential superstar working next to them?
I don't think so, no, because they heard me sing anyway. No, they were, remembering back, they were pleased for me. 100% they were pleased for me. Like, I speak to my sister now, and she says, oh, yeah, we were hoping he wouldn't bring shame on the family, sort of thing, do you know what I mean? But yeah, they looking back, they were all like, oh, I can't believe he's doing this, sort of thing. Like, my brother still says, you can't sing, you rubbish. He still says no, but I think that's a big brother thing, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm making up like it was just another date. No, I was chuffed at the time because, like I say, I was looking for some validation that I could actually sing. And I suppose that was, but then in the back of my mind, I thought, are they just putting me through because I'm one of those idiots? So it was a fine balance, to be honest. Yeah.
So moving on to the second audition.
Yeah, this is the second and last audition, and partly my fault, to be honest, because like I said, they tell you to have 2 songs prepared. Now I've gone through the first audition and got away with it with Mac and Knife, and I go to the second audition and I haven't even got a second song in my head. I don't know which one I'm going to sing, which one. I haven't got a clue. So I'm there all day. I've had the producer ask me questions and then he's thought, no. So I've gone in to like one of the offices. There's a producer and it's a big room now. I'm not in a little booth. It's escalated up. We're going, oh, this is getting a bit serious. So I've gone in and there's another producer. There's still no Simon. There's still no Ciaran. I'm like, oh. So I go in and it was a woman this time and she asked me to sing my song. Same song, same clothes, same hair, everything. So I sing Mac the Knife. And obviously, if your first song you pick, you've practiced pretty much. I sang Mac the Knife hundreds of times on karaoke. So I had that nailed. I had it pretty much nailed. So I sang it, and I think she was in 2 minds. Because obviously the first song, you're going to sing a song, you've got to sing it. It makes sense. So I think she was in 2 minds. So she said, have we got another song? And I was like, yeah. For some reason, I picked, remember James Morrison?
Right, yeah.
I don't even know if you will remember him. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, James Morrison, yeah.
One of his songs, I can't think of the name of the song now, but it was a James Morrison song that I'd never sung before. There's millions of songs I could pick that I've sung. I've sung loads on karaoke, but I picked this song for some reason, and I never sang. I knew.
Was it like a rabbit in the headlights type moment? They said to you, you're going to sing another song, and you're like, oh, what can I pick?
Yeah, shit, yeah. I remember this song. Yeah, I know that. I like this song off the radio, and I sang it, and I never sang it before, and she just went, it's a no this time. And I went, okay, thanks, thank you. And off on the train I went, and that was that. It was no tears or, oh, I'm so gutted. It was a bit of a relief, to be honest, because it was just such a long, drawn-out 2 days. And I hadn't even seen Simon Cowell yet. I hadn't even had a sniff of Sharon Osbourne or Louis Walsh. They hadn't even popped their heads in or nothing. They were weeks away, I think. So it was a bit of a relief. But at the same time, it was like, oh, I wish I could have. I suppose I wish I could have gone a little bit further. But it was an eye-opener when you see how they make it, pretty much. Yeah, it was a bit of an eye-opener. And it kind of spoilt me watching it from then. Not that I was bitter, like that should have been me. And no, it was just how set up. And when you see the idiots, you understand how they got where they are. But obviously the boys were taking the mick out of me then, because that season, I think it was a year Leona Lewis won it, I think. And obviously we're watching it then a couple of months later, and you see some idiots with voluminous clothes on and they can't even sing. And they're all going, he got further than you. So I had to take a bit of ribbon for it, but it was an experience. Yeah. Now I look back and I feel a bit of a div, but it's, 17, 18 or whatever I was. So you don't really care at that point, do you?
So what advice would you give to anyone who is considering going on the X Factor or a similar type TV reality talent show?
I've applied for quite a few, right? Like
Oh,
game
right, okay.
shows. Game
Right.
shows more than
Yeah.
singing. Like I applied, I got through a couple of interviews and auditions for The Chase because I watch The Chase all the time and I'm pretty good in the house. I'm quite impressive sometimes. And so I applied for it. I was doing a night shift and I was bored. So I applied for Catchphrase, which I'm good at, Mr. Chips. I applied for Catchphrase and The Chase, just on a whim, because I was bored in work. And then I was working days then. You were talking 6 months later. I've completely even forgot I've applied. And my phone goes. So I answers it. And it's some geezer from ITV. I'm in a car park. I'm like, with one of the boys in work. I went, it's ITV. He went, what? I said, it's a guy from The Chase. He was laughing. I said, I'll be there now. So I was like, he said, are you still interested in coming on The Chase? I went, yeah. And he goes, right, is it all right if I give you a quick quiz on the spot? I'm like, yeah, if you want. So he starts firing like the quick fire round of The Chase, firing questions at me. And he said, give me whatever answers you can. So some of them I'm giving him the right answer. Some of them I'm like, I have no idea. I haven't got a clue, pass. So at the end of this 10, 12 questions, he says, yeah, you got through the audition. Congratulations. We're in Swansea in 3 weeks' time. We'd like you to come down for the final meeting. And then we'll decide whether you go on TV or not. So I was like, oh, great. So it was getting closer. And my arse started to go, basically. I was thinking, oh, I don't want to go on. Because if Bradley starts going, what's your name? I'll forget on TV. So I'm starting to think, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I'm good at The Chase, but I thought, what am I doing? So I thought it was in the Village Hotel in Swansea. I don't know why. I just had it in my head. And I lived around the corner at the time. So I thought, I'll go, yeah, I'll walk down, see what it's about. Because I imagined it'd be one of these group bonding sessions, like, hi, I'm David, and act like from the X Factor experience, act an idiot and you get on TV sort of thing. And that's just not me. You know me. I'm not one to act a fool in front of people I don't know, although previous podcasts might say different. But so the night before The Chase final audition to get on TV, I read the email again, and it wasn't in the Village. It was in the Grand Hotel by the train station in Swansea. And I thought, I can't park there. Oh, never mind, I won't go. And I never went. My ass went, and I completely bombed it out. And they rang me and emailed me afterwards, offering me to go back. And I said no. And that was that. But if... I wouldn't say, if you're an aspiring singer or serious singer, then I wouldn't say go on the X Factor, because it's pointless. Not that you take information off me, but from my experience, you've got to be a bit of an idiot or an absolute tremendous singer. If you're anywhere in between, I don't think you get very far, to be honest. They want big, eccentric personalities with a backstory. Now, my father said if I had told him I had heart problems, I would have got on TV. And I thought, that's a good point. I should have played on the bad art, really, and I might have met Simon, but yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
because there is a book by Ben Elton. I think it's called Heartthrob. I think it is, where basically it's a bit of a satire about a show like the X Factor and about how they target certain different types of people they need for the show.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. If you are a good singer and a normal person, you won't get anywhere, pretty much. You're either going to be totally off the scale, like Big Brother. Big Brother used to be normal people going into the house, and you watch normal people disintegrate over 4 weeks and stuck together. Now you've got to be a transvestite bricklayer with a peg leg just to get on there. That's without anything else. So it's gone from being normal, and that's what, like, Pop Idol and stuff used to be as well. That's when I liked watching those programs. They were normal people who had a talent. Now we've got to be different to everybody else. And it doesn't matter really about your talent. You don't have to be the best singer in the world to get to the final 10 or whatever it may be. Like, look at Rylan. He can't sing. He's rubbish. But he's a bit out there and he's a bit eccentric and flamboyant. So he presents this morning, no? Do you know what I mean? That's the way it is.
You never know, Dai. If you'd have played your cards differently and had a better second song, you could have been presenting Publicum or something now on S4.
Well, if I turned up in a dress, I'd be flying. I'd be an internet celebrity, no?
So anyway, Dai, I got to ask you, you've been telling us the whole podcast what a good singer you are. Are you going to sing us a few notes?
I knew he was going to. No,
just in case now. Imagine now Simon Cowell is flicking through his mobile phone. He's got his mobile phone out and he's flicking through. Oh, X Factor. Oh, I'll see what this is about.
You got no chance, I'm afraid. I haven't got a pint in me and we're not in a pub. No, I'm not. Like I say, I'm not like one of these. I can sing. Yeah, I'll sing anywhere. I ain't one of them. I'll sing in the kitchen if I'm cooking.
Yeah, but Dai, you've been on the X Factor.
Yeah, but they kicked me off as well. That's what people go, he was on the X Factor. Yeah, but I didn't get it. I didn't win it. I didn't get anywhere.
When mates, I can imagine plenty of scenarios where friends would say to you, oh, he's been on the X Factor. And
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Do people have certain
expectations
of you?
Yeah. Most of the time, if they go, oh, he was on I don't tell anyone now, although I've come on a podcast and telling people. And I said, first time I mentioned it to the public was on my podcast. And that's when Lily found out. And he was like, look at this now. I'm well into my music. My old man's brought me up and I couldn't name one song in the top 10 of the charts now. I haven't got a clue who's about. Probably Ed Sheeran's in there somewhere because he's in there all the time. But other than that, I haven't got a clue. I love my old music. And people get surprised when I say I love musicals as well. Right? I'm more of, if a song is good, it's good. Not by who sings it or what it's in or where it is in the charts. If it's a good song's a good song, pretty much. So from my podcast, you've got me, who likes musicals, and Lily, who writes poetry now. So we've completely flipped it on the head from what it used to be. We started out talking about fights, and now he's writing poetry, and I'm watching musicals. No, they do get an expectation of, they either laugh at you because you went on there, or they want you to sing on the spot. And there's no chance of that. I'll go, if you ever catch me in the pub, and there's a karaoke machine there, I can't stop myself having a song. Once I get up, you can't get me off. And I do enjoy singing and stuff. Like at one point, that was my dream job. Like I just wanted to go round the pubs and make a living out singing in pubs, pretty much. It's not very aspirational, I know. To go, what do you want to do in your life? I just want to go and sing in pubs. It's not the greatest aspirations in the world, but at one point I would have loved to do that. I'd love to make a living out of singing, but I'm just not good enough, to be honest.
Okay, I think on that note, if you pardon the pun, Dai, we'll wrap things up.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Key. Appreciate it.
No problem. The first edition of Straight to the Point Uncut. If you want to follow Dai, you are on social media, Dai. Do you want to give yourself?
I am, yeah. DP OW3N on Twitter. I know that's a bit complicated. Owen, replace the E with a 3. That's it.
Yeah, rolls off a tongue, lovely.
Yeah, I know. I should have thought that through before I picked it. But yeah, and combatsportcollective.com. You can get hold of us that way as well. So yeah, that's pretty much me. You can find me on TTLO podcast as Ciaran's been on plenty of times. So yeah, that's where you find me. So
okay, thank you guys. If you like this podcast, please share it or let other people know. Give it a subscribe. Give it a mention. You can watch it on the YouTube link. And also will be available for downloads. You can follow the account on STTP Uncut on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page, so please like and subscribe. You can follow Dai on his strange Twitter name, which I'm not even going to try and repeat. So hope you all enjoyed, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. You're listening to Straight to the Point, Uncut.